Before we get into this episode, there's something that might be of interest that I wanted to tell you about. Scene and Heard, who run this podcast, have been asked by Scotland Food and Drink to undertake a strategic review of the Scotland Food and Drink Excellence Awards. Now, these Excellence Awards have been going for almost 20 years and are a huge mainstay of the food and drink sector. But it's time to ensure that they're still relevant. So if you have ever been involved in the Scotland Food and Drink Excellence Awards, or even if you've ever had an opinion about them, we would love for you, please, to complete our survey. So if you go to the OnFARM Twitter, which is at @on_farm UK, and click the link in the bio, there will be a tab in there that will take you to the survey, and it should only take you a very short while to complete, but we would be enormously grateful.
It's Monty for this episode of the OnFARM podcast. Massive thanks to our sponsor for this episode, Lawrie and Symington. We are here, that's Dave and I, when I say we.
Yep, Monty, hello.
And we are here at Crookston Farm in the Borders because this is the training day for the competitors in the Golden Shears, which is about to take place later this week at the Royal Highland Show. And the Golden Shears being the International World Championship competition for sheep shearing. Sheep shearing and wool handling, I should say. And we're going to learn a bit more about that when we go into the shed. The shed is a hive of activity. There's people in all sorts of different coloured vests, bandanas, etc., from all over the world.
And just to be clear for people that are listening, there are 3 different events, if you like, that we're going to go and find out about just now.
Well,
there's the machine shearing, and then there's sort of traditional blade shearing, just with a pair of scissors. And then we're also, just with a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
it's not quite a pair of scissors, but a very sharp, very dangerous pair of clippers.
Yep.
And the other event that's here that people might not be aware of is wool wrapping, wool winding, right?
Wool handling. And the wool handling is actually very, very important. If you've got a team of clippers doing their best to cover the numbers in a day, they also need, as a backup, they need the wool handled. They need the wool taken from them, rolled up and packed properly so that it's then saleable. And that in itself is an art.
Lots of people to talk to today. We're going to get around as many people as we can. But first, just because we've bumped into him on the way in here, let's have a quick chat with RAS Chief Executive Alan Laidlaw.
We're here for the practice days for the Golden Shears. There's a lot of anticipation here for the shearers. First chance they've had to look at Scottish stock for some of them. And yeah, there's a real building of anticipation to the weekend for the championships. For these shearers from all over the world, they want to come and pit themselves on the boards against the best from New Zealand, from Canada, from Australia. And they want to know if they can compete, whether that's in the blades or whether the machine shearing.
And today we're here at Crookston in the Borders. And as you say, this is about Scottish sheep that they might never have handled before or clipped before.
Absolutely. You've seen them walk in the shed there, and some of them are just looking straight at the animals thinking, oh, I've never seen one of those before. And they're going to get a chance to get advice and a bit of tips from some of the folk who are better at it. And just up the road, the judges are getting briefed on Scottish sheep as well. You know, if you were going to run the 110 metres hurdles, you would want to know how high the hurdle was. You'd practice. So this is a chance for these athletes to practice with our sheep in our conditions.
Well, producer Dave and I are here and we're going to have a look. Let's have a look in this shed and see what these guys are facing. Guys and girls.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're just going into the shed here at Crookston Farm, and it's a typical agricultural shed, but it's now absolutely buzzing with people and sheep. And, here we are.
Somebody with a t-shirt with Chile written on the back. We saw somebody from Finland earlier. Canada, I can see.
Yeah, we've got various stands here. So we've got little pens with a board set outside, machines hanging up, sheep ready to clip, tables to roll wool on. We've got the frames with the big wool bags, wool sheets hanging up, and the rolled wool will go into them. It's like what we do. It's like what we do at home, as it were, but this is on a really kind of professional, and it feels sporting. It feels like, you can feel there's a kind of, this is where the sort of competition end of it happens. It's not just shearing for the sake of getting the wool off the back of the sheep.
And actually, you walk into this shed and you can feel the tension. You can feel the sort of, hello, let's...
Here we are. Yeah, we've got the grinding wheel going here, the spinning wheel, and someone sharpening blades and cutters and combs. These have got to be kept clean and sharp. The shearer will stop every so often, quickly brush off any wool that's stuck, any lanolin that's stuck. Sparks flying.
I think we should go and try and talk to some of the
Let's go.
competitors. Should we go say hello to Canada?
Yeah.
I'm Pauline Bollet, I'm from Canada. I'm competing on Team Canada as a machine shearer.
What are you going to do today? Is this your kind of last chance to get a real good feel for Scottish sheep, or?
Yeah, just get a feel for the Scottish sheep and go through some gear and yeah.
How is it different from shearing at home in Canada? Like, what are you having to figure out to be ready for the championship?
Yeah, I would say the sheep comb differently, meaning that they shear a bit differently. Yeah, just sussing out different gear options.
Cool, good, thank you very much.
No worries.
so
Good luck. This, to me, does look like a setup that we might have when the shearers come at home, but usually there's maybe 2 or 3 people shearing on a trailer. Here we've got, at the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and various team members handling the wool, rolling it, putting it into the wool sheets. You can see the girl over there. She's got her legs either side of the sheep. She's holding the sheep with her left hand and she's shearing with the right. Every little movement of the sheep will correspond with a movement of her feet and legs. So she's keeping the weight into the correct leg at the correct time for the stroke that she's doing with the right hand. It's so coordinated. And it's all about that right hand, assuming they're right-handed people. That right hand, it's all about getting as long a stroke as possible with that and as smooth a stroke so that the clippers, like your hair clippers, glide through the wool and you take as much with a swing of your arm as possible. They say that a fast, efficient shearer should have long arms and a short back. You see the way this chap here has worked around the neck. Now he's got the long strokes again. Look, right from the top of the back, right down to the bottom of that leg. They're held with such strength, but calm strength, that the sheep are just sitting there calmly.
My name's Philip Christian and I'm from the Isle of Man.
Here as part of an Isle of Man team?
Yeah, myself and Daniel Creer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the Isle of Man team, giving it a go. I've done a couple before, and this is Phil's sort of first one.
All right, okay.
At them. So.
A couple of Golden Shears before?
Yeah, well, I've been down. I went to the one in New Zealand and the one in Ireland.
All right, okay.
This is your last sort of practice training day before the show starts. What is today all about? What is it that you're trying to achieve today, or find out, or learn?
For myself, I'm just trying to make sure that the combs that I've been using at home and think are good for the thing are. So it's as much about just making sure my gear's running right for the sheep. Like my handpiece was a bit rattly, so I've done a couple of bits on that, making sure that's running fine. And just, it's too late to change the pattern or to change that, but it's just about making sure the gear's going to work and is as best as I can make it.
Giving yourself the confidence that you're ready, yeah?
Yeah, definitely the same as Daniel, really. Just fine tuning everything ready, because there's a lot of good shearers here and the job has to be pretty tip top.
As long as we go reasonable, we'd be more than happy. We're only a small island, so we do what we can. We've only got a small number of shearers. As for the biggies, you've obviously got your Scottish lawns are looking good. The Welsh boys are looking good, and the Kiwis are looking good. They're like probably 3 of the stronger contenders.
When you're watching people shearing, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that makes you say, that's a good shearer?
Flow, how the pattern works, what wool was left on, what they've took off, and just how smooth they make it look. Often enough, the smoother and sometimes the slower it looks, the faster it is. Like in so many things, if someone's making it look effortless, they're generally very good at what they do, don't they? As you can see, just the sheep's coming off nice and pink. She's not struggling, and he's flying down that last side now and out the leg and finished. So,
Cheers, lads. Good luck, eh?
thank you.
My name is Bruce Lang. I'm Chief Steward of sheep shearing and fleece competitions at the Royal Highland Show. It's like the Olympics of sheep shearing. It really is the biggest thing in the world, and we've got 30 countries participating from North, South Hemisphere, South America.
This podcast is published on Thursday of the Highland Show. So anyone listening now on the Thursday, what can they expect for the coming 4 days?
Well, a lot of noise, a lot of huge excitement. We've got an extended marquee. We will be starting shearing at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning with our junior competition. And then right through to Sunday afternoon, where we have the finals of the World Championships. So we've compressed the RHS events into Thursday, Friday, and then we go into World Championship events Friday evening. But what happens is you get the World Championship competitors, they want to have a practice run, so they'll compete in what they call the All Nations. And it's a credit to the Highland Show, we've actually got so many other people wanting to come and take part and do a heat. Some of them will just be doing their heat and they won't get into semis, but it's just the thrill of being part of the sort of festival of the whole event. We have 380 competitors over the week.
Right.
Goodness me.
We've had 5,000 sheep on farm to supply this event right across the Scottish borders. So the farmers from the Scottish borders themselves have played a massive part in making this the event it is.
And Geordie Dunn with the wagons.
Yeah. Geordie Dunn with the wagons. And Geordie Dunn and Gwen have had this logistical nightmare, I think probably the word Geordie would use, of fitting wagons to farms, right up to through Langham to Jim Robertson, chairman of British Wool, supplying sheep for the final on Sunday, sheep coming down from Stirling. So it's a major logistical. The first sheep arrive at 6:30 in the morning, and then they're getting picked up off farm at 4:15. I think I'll be lying in a darkened room on Monday night.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah. Bruce, thank you so much. I know you're so super busy, so we'll get out of your way. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Take care.
Australian Shearing and Wool Handling Team 2023.
No, that's not us.
It looks like you guys.
We're just here for a bit of practice, yeah. My name is Daniel McIntyre. I'm the current Australian team member.
Yeah, hello, my name is Nathan Maney from Australia, one of the current Australian team members, machine shearers.
Getting the last kind of practice in before the big competition.
Yeah, you get a bit of a feel for the sheep before the competition and sort a few things out.
What are your chances, guys? Have you got as good a chance as anyone in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. Just a couple of practice sheep like this, get our combs running a bit because there's not quite as many wrinkles on these sheep as we used to, but we sort of still got the same positioning and that sort of stuff. So no, we're feeling pretty confident. We'll be right when the day comes around.
Lads, thanks so much for that.
You guys. Thanks. I'm going to guess those guys are very good, because I'm sure it's pretty competitive to get into the Australian team.
I don't think you have to be pretty good to be the Australian representatives, I would guess.
Yeah. Right, so our man from the Isle of Man has grabbed the sheep along with a steward. Let's listen in.
Please, if you can't understand what I'm saying, please ask. You've all come a long way. You've come a long way in big commitment for the show. So don't blow it all by not knowing what you're doing. There's lots of you can shear very well, but you're making mistakes. You're giving points away for no reason.
What he's saying to them is they're all really good shearers, and obviously they are. They're in an international competition. But what he is looking for, and what the judges are going to be looking for, is basically marking them on a Scottish style. So they must be done. The bellies. If there's any wool in the belly, that's wrong. It's and some of these competitors have maybe never seen sheep like that, presented like that, with wool like that. So we're learning why these people are here today.
And we're standing by a group of Spanish-speaking competitors who are busy. Some of them are translating what the judges are saying so that they can understand it.
My name's Doug Lambie. I was involved with the Wool Board instructing for many years. I've been asked back today just to help with these guys from all over the world, and straight away we see the sort of usual kind of hiccups, that not problems that they've got, but because of their different sheep and they've just got slightly different techniques, and they've travelled a long way. It's a big expense, a lot of cost for them, big commitment, and they're all proud to represent their country. And the last thing we want to see them is feel that they've they go home feeling that they've been unfairly treated, and we're just trying to show them the rules, and then they can work out what to do and what not to do.
I'm Jimmy Sinclair, and along with my son Graham, we're the tenant farmers here at Crookston. We hosted this similar event 20 years ago. Okay. So it came up in conversation again, maybe pre-pandemic time, if we would hold it, and which we did say yes. I don't remember how many people we had the last time, but there's a lot more this time right now.
It's really busy.
It is. There's
really
a huge. I'm not sure if there'll be enough burgers to go around, but it's for us. It's it's just doing something that gives a bit of help. We're not far from Edinburgh. We'll have a reasonably good location or a venue for it, and.
Well, you have a lot of sheep, and there's a lot of sheep round about that can be brought on.
And we're fortunate. Well, when we heard that there was to be 56 machine shearers, 31 blade shearers, and 36 wool handlers, we panicked slightly. So we've got 50 Cheviots from our neighbours, the McCourt family, across the other side of the valley.
How many sheep have you got in for today? What have you got?
I think there's just over 500.
Right. Good.
That's great. Well, thank you.
This is the wool handling part of the shed. We've got two shearers on a trailer here. The competitors are not the shearers this time. They're the ones that are actually handling the wool. We're going to learn about what they've been judged on, but it's all about making sure the wool is folded over, rolled up properly, and packed properly into the sack. Here's someone doing it exactly the way they're going to be doing it in the competition. So you gather the fleece from the clipper, you throw it onto this table so that it's all cast out properly. It's outside up on the table, and then they roll it so that it's inside up. That's the belly wool going inside, and then it's folded in on itself, folded in, rolled, fold in, rolled, and then a little twist in the end to keep it all together. Tuck that in, and you've got a nicely rolled fleece.
And there is a Chilean team here. A man on his knees sorting out the fleece, and a lady looking over him with a young child on her back. Nothing like making life difficult for yourself.
Have you got the family travelling with you then? You've got the young one on the back.
The dad is in the shearing.
Right.
He's shearing.
And you've got how old is this one on your back?
1.5.
Right, and does she just come with you and experience it?
Because we work like this, so
right.
He does the shearing and I do the wool handling with her like this.
So
we don't have another way.
Yeah.
But now my teammate, we take turns, so he can just play with her.
Right.
My name is Archie Sepúlveda, from Chile.
I'm Camila Quinteros, Team Chile as well.
And who's this, your daughter?
The little one is Agnes. She's the mini wool handling baby category.
So Team Chile, so you've got a machine shearer over here.
We have 2 machine shearers. The other one is coming tomorrow, Wednesday, from New Zealand. He's a Chilean based in New Zealand. Right. And then is Kenny, her dad, and my partner. And we have Archie and myself are the 2 wool handlers for Chile.
Okay. Is this exciting, being in Scotland to do this, is it?
Very excited indeed, especially Archie. He left home a month ago and he has been traveling all the way from the Royal Bath and West Show, then he did the Royal Cornwall Show, and then the 3 counties, just making his way up, practicing, because in Chile we don't have wool handling as such. So we are just training. It's here, it's very new for us.
I'm always amazed, not just when it's competition, but when there's 2 or 3 people shearing and 1 wool handler keeping up and doing all and making it neat and putting it in a sheet.
He will understand, reply in Spanish, and I will translate. That's okay?
Yeah. Son las reglas de la competencia.
These are the rules for the competition.
Tienes que estar muy concentrado en tu primer esquilador.
Very focused on your first shearer.
Después, al momento de que el esquilador entra a hacer el primer cuarto,
then when the shearer is doing the undermine,
entra el segundo, ya tienes que estar más concentrado.
So you need to be more focused.
Después termina el primer esquilador con
Then the first shearer
determinar
finishes.
su vellón, su esquila.
Finish shearing the first sheep.
Tienes que lanzar y estar
You
concentrado
throw
del
that
segundo
fleece and you need to
esquilador
be focused on the
para
second
que no te
shearer
desconcentres y no tengas punto
and
ya
not lose the focus
a no al sacar lana
and
de
not
la
to be
entrepierna.
penalized, to not miss a
Y a la
crutch.
vez-
And at the same time,
A la vez tienes que enrollar muy bien tu
you need to
vellón
roll your fleece very, very
y
well.
hacerle el cerrado que es
Very
las
well
reglas
tuck
muy
in and
importantes
secure
de este
because
mundial.
are very important rules of this World Champs.
Y nunca perder a los esquiladores de su trabajo que van haciendo,
And never
porque
lose the sight of the
si
shearers.
pierdes algo es muy penalizado.
Because if you lose something, it will be very penalized. You will get too much point.
Fantastic, guys.
Thank you. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Gracias.
Well done.
My name is Kenneth MacLeod from Chile, and I am a machine shearer for Team Chile.
Kenneth MacLeod
Yes.
from Chile.
Yes.
That is a very Scottish name. What's the story behind that?
Great granddad from Stour, up in north in Scotland. He went back to Patagonia and stayed there, and here I am.
What does Team Chile aspire to then? What are we looking to? I mean,
well, to be honest, in the wool handling, I think they want to get through the semi-finals. And the machine shearing that will be perfect, to be honest. Like, if we manage to get through as a team, that will be just mission accomplished.
Listen, good luck. Thank you so much. Suerte. Suerte.
I'm Leanne Bertram and I am the Chief Wool Handling Referee for the World Championships at the Highland Show.
So no pressure.
No, none whatsoever. Completely relaxed.
Massive honour.
A massive honour, yeah. I've competed for a long time as a Scottish representative and been to 3 World Championships. So when I was contacted and asked to be the chief referee for the show, it was a massive honour to be asked.
Fantastic. Well done.
Absolutely brilliant.
So basically we have the judges who will be judging at the World Championships competition. So we have this area we're going through the wool handling judging, and then there is the shearing, machine shearing and the blade shearing judging as well. So we're trying to use examples of the different breeds that the competitors will be using, and we use country-specific judging rules. So obviously judges from Norway and New Zealand and Falkland Islands and all of the other countries have to learn our rules and how we judge in this country. So that's basically what we're going through. And there's although it's all very similar country to country, there's country-specific variations.
So when the Golden Shears, when the World Championship is held in New Zealand, for example, you guys all have to, if you're judging, you have to go along there to something like this, familiarise yourselves, make sure that you know and can judge based on their rules. So
Yes.
it's country specific to
Yes.
where you are.
Yeah. So we're going through our country-specific rules with the external judges, just so that we make sure there's a level playing field and it's very fair for all the competitors when we start the World Rounds at the Highland Show.
I mean, it must be quite a daunting thing for the judges to come with their different ways of doing things and, having to calibrate. We used the word calibrate earlier.
Yeah, no, that's right. Every day's a school day, and it is. And some of the judging styles are very similar, but some of them are very different. And how we handle our wool in this country is very different to how they would handle in New Zealand, because our breeds of sheep are different and the quality of wool is different, and the much more variation between sheep rather than have a really consistent mob of sheep.
Over in New Zealand or Australia, it might be all merinos or something like that, whereas as we've seen today, there's some blackies in the shed, there's Cheviots,
That's right, so which is why we handle wool the way we do in this country. We try to isolate every individual fleece by tying it up and securing it as an individual rather than pressing it all together, and it means that the farmer can be graded for each individual fleece, which maximises the value, because then they get paid fully for a better one and not so well for a lesser quality one.
So that's the importance of the wool handling, not even just at a competitive level, but actually in commercial shearing situations, the wool handling is all about making sure that the value of that fleece is optimised.
Yes, obviously in the UK, wool is of a lesser value than other countries in the world, but I think the wool board's all been about trying to maximise that value for the farmer and passing that on.
What does it feel like when you compete for Scotland?
It's nerve-wracking, yeah. We all have a circuit and a process to go through to qualify, and that can be quite stressful. You travel around and compete at various shows to make sure that we select the best team on that year. So once that pressure is off, and you just can concentrate on the show itself.
But I'm guessing now, being chief referee is going to be quite a lot of different pressure for another reason.
Yep, you have to make sure that it's a level playing field. But it's nice that you know the challenges that the competitors and the judges have against them. So it's nice to be in a position to try and smooth those problems and make sure that it all runs smoothly and it's a fair playing field for everybody.
And of course, on that, they're going to want somebody with your experience.
Yes,
they're going to want somebody who's been there, seen it, done it.
Yeah, I guess it's nice to be, having been a competitor, you know that the challenges that are coming, because it is possible that there's judges here who won't ever have wool handled competitively. They've just trained and become a judge. But it's nice to have come through and understand from both sides with the challenges, and I think we can make a difference that way.
Well done. Thank you very much. So we've now come into a corner of the shed where things are a little bit quieter. Instead of the whir of the machine, although you can still hear the machines in the other part, we're now looking at the very traditional skill and art, as it were, of blade shearing. Your traditional big scissors and hand shears.
So here we have Team USA and we have Team France.
Yes.
Could I get you to introduce yourselves?
My name's Kathleen Markevich.
And that's Team USA?
Yeah.
My name is Ardigal Massour.
I'll be in the Blades Open.
All right.
Yeah,
wonderful.
on Friday.
And Blades as well?
Yeah, I made the Blades Open.
So tell us, why blades?
I kind of like that you can power it by yourself. You can take it anywhere. And where I live in the States, it's a lot of small flocks. So it kind of makes sense to know how to do it. I could go and shear a couple sheep by
You're not
hand.
shearing sheep commercially with blades, are you?
I do it as a side job. Yeah. I do.
Right. So people, backyard, few sheep.
Yeah.
And I guess actually that's quite a good way of being able to do it. You're not having to take a machine anywhere, hang a machine up and power the machine. You can just go little pen inside of a field and go for it.
Yeah, and I think some of it's like the challenge of learning how to do it by hand. It's it takes patience.
For me, it's mostly for fun because it's very technical, and the technical I don't know. I don't have the words, but
it's a challenge.
Yeah, the challenge.
It's a challenge that you like to take on.
Yeah, the challenge is good. You are the machine for get through. So if you don't have a sharp gear, you do nothing.
It just chews. It just chews, doesn't cut.
Yeah. More than half of blade shearing is sharpening.
Is that right?
Yeah.
As part of the competition, then, do you have to sharpen your own blade as you go?
Yeah, it's your business. You have to do on your own. Nobody gonna sharp for you.
So we came along and you guys were deep in conversation.
Yeah, what are you looking out for as you're watching other competitors?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to see different styles of individual people. People I haven't seen shorn before.
There is a little bit of looking what everyone do and can do, but at least you're alone with your performance. And then if someone beats you, it's because you're not good enough. So if you lose, it's because you're not good enough, not because there is something else. So
I think most shearers, seeing other people shear, there's good sportsmanship, I think, in general.
You said it's your first time coming.
Yeah.
How does it feel? I mean, is this your first time doing this sort of thing?
Yes.
Or, right.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's a little surreal. I mean, it's an honor. I'm happy to be able to be part of it. I've done a couple competitions in the States, but it's a whirlwind so far.
Guys, the best of luck to you both.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Bon chance, eh? What are your thoughts, Monty?
I've been to shows and events whereby there's a sort of, look at the traditional quaint practice of blade shearing as a kind of demonstration. I've never watched it done by people who are, competitors in the World Championship, as it were. I mean, look at this chap here. He's got his blade in underneath the fleece. Snip, snip, snip. It glides through. He's getting his shape almost as pink as the machine shearers, so he is right in there. And also look how fast his blade just glides along. As someone described, if it looks simple, if it looks effortless, it's probably as good as it's getting.
Well, I'm Willie Craig. I'm one of the blade shearers for the competition, and this is
Mark Armstrong, the other blade competitor.
Team Scotland for in the Golden Shears for the blade shears.
As I say, we just love shearing, and it's try and encourage young people to take up the sport. And what would you say, the prestige of representing your country? It's like anything else. Like it's, so it's a great honour to be doing it.
I'm Tony Dobbs. I'm the ring-in from New Zealand. I actually am a sheep and beef farmer back in New Zealand. First won the World Championships in 1988, which is a wee few years ago now. And we managed to win the teams event last time in France in 2017. So, yeah, we're hoping we can back it up with a good result.
You're current world champion.
Teams world champion, yeah. Looking at the competition this year, and I can see the guys in the Northern Hemisphere have come up in leaps and bounds, and yeah, it's going to be another sleepless night.
If you cut the wool, but then you go back because you've left a bit and you cut it a second time, so the judge is watching for second cuts, because that's devalued the bit of wool.
Of course.
So that's why you're getting judged when you're shearing on the boards. Then once they're finished, these sheep will go into another pen, and then they'll get judged then out the back on any wool left on and any nicks or cuts. So you're actually judged twice.
So like you could be the really fast shearer, but that doesn't mean to say you're going to be the winner, because your overall quality up the back when it's gone down stairs, which the audience don't see, mightn't be up to the standard that's been set by someone a wee bit slower in the heat. So the result can change around quite quickly. The audience don't understand sometimes that the first one down's not always the winner. Speed is only 1/3 of the equation. 1/3 on the board, 1/3 speed, 1/3 of the points out the back. And possibly at the Highland, I think it's electronic scoring, they might hold the outside points so they don't go into the equation for the audience. Otherwise the shearers will finish and they can look up and know where they've got. So
screens will show your time points and your double cuts, but not the pen.
So you still don't know when you come off that board how good you've been, because the judges at the back still judging.
How does that feel?
A lot of times you'll know yourself if you've had a good shear or a bad shear.
Why do people do blade shearing these days? Is it just a heritage craft? I say just. Perhaps I'm being a bit controversial.
New Zealand it's still done commercially because we live in like a quite harsh environment. So springtime you can have 3 seasons in one day, and they'll machine shorn. You're looking at getting hypothermia.
So you will actually commercially go on a farm and blade shear?
We used to shear over 1.5 million sheep in my area on the blades.
Is that right?
South Africa, they'll do it because of the sunshine, to stop the sheep getting sunburnt.
Right.
So they'll blade shear them to leave a wee bit wool on to protect them from the sun.
So there's a benefit to leaving a little bit on.
There is a benefit for you leaving a bit.
And over the sheep's lifetime, they've done studies and they'll grow equivalent to 1 extra fleece by leaving that on, because from the day they go out of the shearing environment here, they're eating and growing wool again. It's a bit like us with here. And they're not...
Because it always takes longer to start growing again if you've clipped it right.
Yeah, it's a bit like cutting your lawns a wee bit harsh. Yeah, that's right. So there's actually companies in New Zealand will only buy blade shorn wool for certain brands in New York because of the animal welfare.
High-end fashion.
Yeah.
Could I just ask you one more?
We'll have a beer on Sunday. You're buying the beer on Sunday?
We'll be around on Saturday. Might be a beer on Saturday. I don't know about Sunday, but you guys will not be allowed a beer till
Sunday
night.
Sunday night.
6 months.
You've not had a beer for 6 months because of this?
Yeah. 2nd of January.
Is that right? Just because of keep the hand steady and
just get a bit fitter, and you know how if you have 2 or 3, how rough you feel the next day.
What's going on in his mind, and my mind? We're not doing this for ourselves. We're representing our country. So we don't want to let our country down.
Prestige, you're doing it for your country. It's what we have.
That's the ultimate in any sport.
Sunday will be a big night.
It won't take much.
No, that's what we said to him. He says 1 pint and he'll be lying in the corner somewhere.
He's looking very much like a Norwegian racing sardine, isn't he?
Best of luck to you all. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
I think we've been very lucky here, Monty. It's been a really interesting day.
Yeah, I think, Dave, we've had a really good opportunity to get behind the scenes, because if we had gone along to try and get speaking to the competitors actually at the show while the championships are underway, I think we might be struggling. They'll be focused on much more than speaking to us. But today, I think we've had brilliant access and brilliant opportunity to chat. You know, people from Chile, people from the Isle of Man, people translating to their teammates what the judges and the instructors are telling them. It's wonderful to see this all a few miles up the road from where I live in the Borders.
So we need to finish off, eh?
Yeah.
This has been the OnFARM podcast.
Yeah, so this has been the OnFARM podcast. I've been Monty, that's been Dave. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening. This episode is sponsored very generously by Lawrie and Symington, the auctioneers from Lanark. And that's it from me, and bye for now.
Thanks, guys.